All right, we're back, and this time we are jumping into the wrap up show for 3A and 2A after week 3. We went back to from going from the week 0 stuff that was kind of confusing people. So we're actually calling it what it is week 3. This is their third game. What's the results on that? Um, where are we at on this? I mean, we found out that Tombstone wasn't having a season, discovered that they are. So
Yep.
there's been some interesting stuff there, you know. Good. I'm glad to have Tombstone back. I know that was something that obviously we want to see these programs strive and actually do well. So, um, I mean, at least you got to have a season in the first place. For me, hey, guess what? Rocking the Sabino gear, um, brand new football field, brand new lights, brand new scoreboard, brand new season. Everything's turning on them. They're good to go. Way to go. I've been a fan. I've been jumping on the win section for them, even though they let me down the first 2 weeks. But that's okay. Things have changed, so we're in it, and I'm rocking the gear. What are you rocking?
Oh, a little, Speedway Classic from Bristol, Tennessee.
Oh,
So,
this dude's
baseball
over
game I was at, and hey, we
showing
need
off.
more football gear around here.
Yeah, hey, we need to get my guy, Big DJ, Big Daddy
Yeah.
Dan over here. I messed it up here. Big Daddy Dan. We need to get him some 3A, 2A, 5A, 4A, 6A. Get him something, man. Let's close
All
this
the
guy.
A's, man.
He needs
You
to
know
be
what?
wearing something besides this Fox Sports stuff that he's rocking. Oh man.
Uh, y- you know what though? The way we could do it. You ever seen the videos of John Gruden when every college sends them the
Package box.
box of stuff? I was like, boy, I'd be representing it so hard, be
Hey,
unboxing
you know
that.
what, guys? We could make that happen if you want, and you want to send Big Daddy Dan a box of freaking gear. Guess what? We can get you the address. Send him some stuff. He'll do an unpacking, and he can rock the gear, and he'll give them all. You give you
You know
guys
what?
all
Maybe
kinds of.
we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it on the show.
You know
If
what?
that
Yeah, I
happens, we'll
think we
do it on
should.
the
Like,
show.
hey, if we get somebody that wants to give us gear, or we get gear out when we go to a game during the week or something like that, if we're going to a game or something, if we get some gear like t-shirts or something like that, we will reveal it on our show. We'll rock the gear. We might not need a box, we'll probably get like a little
No.
manila envelope with a t-shirt in it or something like that, call it a day, whatever the case is. Anyways, we got, and like we were talking about, sorry, kind of getting sidetracked here. We're gonna jump into the 3A 2A. Um, Not a lot going on, at least nothing positive. Like it wasn't very healthy this week for our guys. But we'll find out the highlights and also the lowlights as we go through
Yep.
some of these games. And we're gonna start off with 3A. We're gonna start off with one of the benefits here. Um, the Push Ridge stays undefeated as they go against a real tough Chrisman. They're actually, I believe Chrisman's, are they 3A too as well? Or are they 4A?
Yeah, they're in that 3A Metro
Yeah, I mean, tough.
with ALA Ironwood, Valley Christian, Seton Catholic, I think, is in there as well, and of course Ben Franklin. So,
Yeah, right. That's the other region that everybody needs to worry about because, like we're saying,
mhm.
like here's another situation that 3A South is going to have either the state champion in it or it's going to be the one you just mentioned. But here we go. At least Push Ridge got the upper hand on this game. They go 28-27, just squeaking by. But hey, give us some of the highlights of this game.
Yes, we got Race Peneno, 11 for 15, 158 yards and two touchdowns. MJ Buckner, 8 carries, 42 yards and one touchdown. And Levi Adcock had 3 receptions for 47 yards and two touchdowns. But as we said at the beginning of the week, this was probably going to be a dogfight for Push Ridge. But yet again, they kind of prevail. No matter what type of matchup it is. But definitely gave me a lot more respect for Chrisman as back to back weeks. I think they went against Thatcher. No, it's not Thatcher. Eastmark. Last week had to play the defending champs in Push Ridge. So I really think that Chrisman definitely has taken a big step forward. And if you look at their highlight or stats from the game, you got Braxton Thill, 14 for 31, 214 yards and two touchdowns. Walker Higbee had 18 carries for 64 yards and two touchdowns, and Cameron Pope 8 receptions for 130 yards and one touchdown.
Mm,
But as always, we always say, you know what? No matter the situation, good teams find a way to win, and Pushridge has done that for the last 3 weeks. No matter who's been put in front of them, they still have done what they needed to do to pick up victories.
yeah. Next game we have here is Payson versus Santan Foothills. Payson kind of has their way with Santan Foothills, 46-0. Uh, the Sabercats are going 0-3. We're hoping to see that front number kind of change some point throughout the season. But go ahead and give us a little praise on what were the benefits for the program.
Yeah, if you look, you have Angel Velasquez had tackles for two, and two tackles for loss and two sacks. Damian Elb had 5 tackles, one tackle for loss and one sack. Alex Delgado Lewis had 6 tackles, one tackle for loss and one sack. So they were, picking up some sacks against Payson. But yet, as you can see with the zero in the scoreboard, the offensive production wasn't really there, hasn't really been in the first 3 games. And I think this may be back to back weeks that they've been shut out.
Mm,
So not sure what's going on that side of the ball for Santan Foothills, because Payson is a tough team, but I mean against Dysart last week, I thought they were gonna be able to produce something, but it just hasn't been the case so far in these first 3 matchups.
mm. Well, hopefully something changes and Santan Foothills goes in the direction that they need to be going. But the next game here, we had Seton Catholic. They played Safford, and we almost the same results here. Seton Catholic goes 36-8, leaving those Bulldogs at a 0-3, just like Santan Foothills. So these are two programs that are kind of struggling, needing to get out. The unfortunate side here too, we'd like to give some of the highlights of the game for the Bulldogs, but unfortunately, we don't even have any stats posted up on this one. Anything you wanted to say about the game, though?
You know what? I think when you look at Seton Catholic being in 3A now, it's definitely helped the program develop. Not sure, what's going on as far as Safford. I think there may be some youth there that we'll have to kind of take a look at and break down, the roster of that team, because it's definitely a team that usually finishes around 500, and for them to be 0-3 at the start, hasn't been many teams that it's only going to get harder for them. I think going forward, especially when they have more of those region matchups against those top tier teams. Wouldn't have expected this from Safford, so I got to definitely do a little bit of research to kind of figure out what's going on and on their side of the ball. But as you can see, Patrick Conley for Seton Catholic went 8 for 13, only had 89 yards, but ended up having 4 touchdowns. CJ 11, 7 carries, 100 yards, and one touchdown. And Corey Edwards had 14 carries for 95 yards. But overall, you don't see a lot of stats on Seton Catholic side. I think it's just, without knowing what Safford is doing on the offense or defense side of the ball without the stats, can't really pinpoint what's been hurting them, whether it's the offensive side or the defensive side or both.
Yeah, and taking that loss against Seton Catholic. The nice part is it looks like they have Winslow coming up here, which could be in a benefit for them. And then you start getting into their region play, starting off with Coolidge. So I don't know if things will turn for Safford, but they got to hurry up and make something happen. If not, it's going to be a tough, long season for them. We've already talked about that. Here's a crazy one that kind of like was an upset, but not necessarily. Um, Thatcher goes away with an L at a 12-27 from Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin stays blemish free over there, 3-0. And once again, here's the situation. We'd like to post up some of the stat information, at least some of our leaders from Thatcher, but no stats were provided at the time of our recording here. But anything you wanted to say on this game? I mean, it was definitely a good shocker game. It was a good game probably to be at as well.
I think not having the stats from Thatcher this week, I'm interested to see, how the play was at the quarterback position. I believe it's Chad Johnson is the quarterback there. And I know last week he didn't have to produce a lot of yards. There was a lot of it came on the ground, but that's been one of the things when it comes to these run heavy teams is if you have a good defense that can lock down your primary offensive weapon, or what you tend to do throughout the game, it can definitely make you have to adjust your game plan. And it just seems like Ben Franklin, they just always come in with a good game plan, and I think that's why the this matchup will be a game we probably see later on down the
Mm,
road if both teams make it far in the playoffs. But I always say it's tough to beat a team twice.
yep.
But I definitely will say Ben Franklin did get a lot of respects here in the 3A division because to only hold a team like Thatcher to 12 points definitely says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Another game that came up here, rocking the shirt, talked about it. New football field, new lights, new state scoreboard, as well as a new season. You see it right here. The SaberCats actually go 1-2, breaking over the Dysart Demons, 38-28. We got stats here, so go ahead and run them down for us.
And you also forgot your first win of the year. Why,
Right.
why not do it on that new field? So, I'm sure that was a lot of fun there for Sabino. How about Bodie Sanford, man, continuously doing what he is doing, and that's producing a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. Went 16 for 23 for 292 yards and 5 touchdowns. Zachary Haley as well on the ground doing it all. 10 carries for 135 yards and 1 touchdown, and Ty Cassidy having 5 receptions for 91 yards to go along with his 2 touchdowns. I think this is huge for Sabino. Talked about the new field. Dysart had that big game against Santan Foothills last week. But you know what? They're no match for Sabino this time around. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe this is that turning point where Sabino can definitely see a lot of wins start piling up as we get closer to some region games.
Yeah, coming up next, they actually have Coolidge and then Santan Foothills. So they might have two wins back to back coming up here, depending on. We'll have to see who we pick on our game. I mean, our prediction show. You might have to tune into that. Next game coming up here is actually Coolidge versus Fountain Hills. So Coolidge walks away with their second win and does it dominantly strong, 40-14 over the Falcons. Uh, Unfortunately, no stat on the game at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's been anything inputted for Coolidge so far this year. Can't really say much as to other than what that's two in a row for Coolidge. So I know there's going to be, you just talked about it. They're going to be playing a team like Sabino this Friday. So it's going to be another tough matchup. We'll see if they can continue that momentum, or maybe they might be a little unmatched by Sabino. But without really knowing how they're doing out there on the field, it's really tough to tell where their bright spots are going to be.
Yeah. Next game coming up here, Florence. Florence actually breaks their record going here. They get one over in the win section. They go 1-2, defeating Ironwood, ALA Ironwood 20-3. Warriors are having a tough season already out the gate, 0-4. But let's talk about our Gophers getting their first win. Tell me about some of their stat leaders.
You know what? You got Brody Ramirez. He didn't have to do too much through the air this week. Went 3 for 9 for 49 yards and 1 touchdown. But Zayden Cundiff, 20 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions. So I don't know if you can have a better day on the defensive side of the ball within that. And then Caden Valley, 12 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. So that defense was hounding them Warriors all night long. As you see, Cash Castaneda went 16 for 24, 105 yards and 3 interceptions. And then their running back held to under 50 yards. So I'm not so sure what to kind of make of ALA Ironwood right now. I know
Right.
at the beginning of the season we talked about him as possibly a team that's going to make a big run in the playoffs, but we've said it the last few weeks where they played the 3A East. It's a new coach, new system. Got us definitely lost some key pieces this past year, but I mean, for Florence, I think we had this one like going ALA Ironwood's way, but they're able to pull it together. Hopefully, that brings them to life and gets them back to those Gophers that we know of them to be.
Yeah, you picked them. I picked Florence, so I'm good. Um, but I would have expected. I did expect it to be a
You
better
picked the
game.
upset.
Yeah,
You
well, hey,
picked the
I'm
upset
not
of the
wrong.
week.
I knew the Gophers were coming through. But the Gophers do have coming up here Thatcher next on there, so that could be another tough round for them coming up next week. We'll just have to watch. We'll see what goes on with that one. Next game coming up here. Actually, that wraps it up for our 3As. We're going to be talking about 2As here shortly. But I mean, you know, this next week, I mean, there was some games here I was like, okay, like the Thatcher Benjamin Franklin game, obviously that one kind of shocked me a little bit. I knew it was going to be a good game. I think we all did. We just kind of felt that it was going to go Thatcher's direction more than Benjamin Franklin. We take the L on that one. Um, I
Right.
think I think I kind of expected a little more out of Safford. I haven't really known anything out of Safford yet, so I'm kind of like to know a little bit more out of Safford, but it's just not coming. Anybody
Yeah.
that you kind of had your eye on, or
You know what? I think the biggest one for me this week was the one that you called as your upset of the week, and that was the Florence and ALA Ironwood. It seemed like Florence was dead in the water after those first 2 weeks, against Sholo and Round Valley, and it wasn't we were almost thinking that they weren't going to be able to kind of get things going, especially having to face what we thought would be a tougher matchup with ALA Ironwood. So that was the biggest surprise. I'm glad they were able to bounce back on that one. Um, and then I think, you know what, one of the teams that's been like, I think we're gonna have to keep our eye on in they're in that 3A metro is Seton Catholic.
right?
I think, they've had a couple wins in back-to-back weeks, or you know what? I think they won against
Santan Charter.
Morenci was a team. Oh, Santan Charter, that was the
Yeah.
big win. There you go. And so it's almost like, okay, are they going to be able to kind of contend with those Ben Franklin, Valley Christian type teams? It's going to make things a lot tougher for our 3A East for sure. But I think overall, when you kind of look at it, the thing I'm worried about for our teams in the 3A East is that they're getting ready to kind of run, into each other,
Right.
start playing each other with these region matchups, and I think they need a lot of help from teams like Santan, Foothills, and Safford to try to pick up some wins to make that strength of schedule a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up Florence. I mean, here's where I'm at with Florence. Originally, before the season started, they were predicted to go 7-3 by Max Preps. I mean, only seven with three losses, and they already have two of those losses right now, and they're about to go up against Thatcher and Push. So this could put them in a like possibly like a 6-4, even worse, depending on if they're able to do stuff. For example, with Sabino's on that list still. Um, uh, y- I think Sabino will be the other obstacle. Really, kind of get that. The rest of them on here, Florence should be okay with them, but at least they should be 500, if not slightly over, depending on if they're able to get one of the win over Sabino, which I don't think Sabino is going to be an easy out for them. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking you could easily see here real quick a 5-5 season for them. That's just me looking at it real quick. But you're right. I mean, there's other teams on here that like, hey, look, we got to do something, and we expected a little bit more out of Santan Foothills. We got to have that bottom end kind of help lift up some of the weight for these
Mhm.
upper to keep the region strong, because if we're going into playing region games and we're battling each other, we can't get better. I mean, as a region, you can't get any stronger. So your programs are going to be where they are when it comes to their rankings. So they
Right.
really need to get this done and get this going the right direction real fast, because if not, you're gonna be kind of struggling. Now, granted, I think we'll get several teams in this region to be in the playoffs, but I mean,
Hmm.
you kind of expected a little bit
Well,
more out of it.
yeah, right now, I mean, I'm only maybe seeing three possibles, depending
Okay.
on what
Who,
Florence.
who would be your
I'll
threes?
probably, I'd say right now you got Push, Rich, Thatcher, and Sabino as probably the front runners. But I mean, after 3 weeks, who would have thought Coolidge would be sitting in third in this region as far as overall records go? But
Hmm.
like you said, I don't think outside of that game against Santa Cruz Valley, they've been really tested yet
Right, right.
since that game. So, hopefully, we'll see what that comes against this game. Too. I think the big one to probably watch out for going forward is going to be Coolidge, Sabino, Florence. Those three teams are going to be the ones that'll probably be fighting for
Right.
that third spot in this region and trying to maybe sneak into that top 16.
So would you say, and I'm just looking at this just because we said this, right? Now,
Hmm.
I'm going to give the L's probably more than likely to Florence from Thatcher and also Push Rich. Does that now make that game against Sabino one of the most important like games on their schedule?
I think it does because I think they will beat a team like Shadow Mountain.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that from as of right now, they should be able to possibly beat Safford and Santan Foothills.
Correct.
So I think after that Push Ridge game, if Coolidge is able to, if
Still
it,
stay
if
floating.
Sabino is able to beat Coolidge, then it's like, yeah, that's probably one of their most important
Yeah.
games right there to
Yeah.
maybe
I
get
agree.
any type of power points. So we'll
I
see though.
agree. Florence, hey, the path is in front of you guys, and it's hey, look, are you guys going to be able to step up to it, or are you going to fall short? Max Prep said 7-3, and it's going to be a long or a hard battle for you to get to that right now. Right now, I mean, 6-4 or 5-5 is what I predict. If not, hey, you
Mhm.
might even be sub. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Get out there and do your thing. Let's jump over into these 2A final scores, just because I know we kind of got caught up on this conversation. Nothing wrong with that, though. We always be talking about good stuff. We did talk about this on the 4A wrap up show that we did talk about. We talked about the Bisbee Douglas game. We did say that this was going to be a really important game for Douglas, and Douglas did deliver. They came through 25-0 over the Bisbee Pumas. Go ahead and retouch on this for us if you would.
Yeah, seemed like Bisbee struggled a little bit there. Tristan Meyer went 10 for 23, 82 yards, one interception. Jackson Alvarez, 9 carries for 59 yards. And Fabian Hernandez on the defensive side of the ball had 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. So big game for Fabian. But if you jump over to the new pick holders out in Douglas, how about Ivan Higuera? 7 for 12, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception to go along with 14 carries, 142 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. And Michael Pearson on the defensive side had 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. And as we all know, Ivan, oh, well, I didn't get to say this because I kind of got cut off during our recording for that 4A, but Ivan was my player of the week. I think he stepped up big for Douglas to be able to take the pick back home. And, like you said, it's a big win for Douglas. As far as Bisbee goes, we're going to have to see. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a closer matchup, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Next team that we had here, it was Morenci Willcox. Willcox once again not posting up their stats. Morenci takes the L. So Willcox was able to deliver. They go 2-1 over Morenci. Um, not much here for us to really talk about. We are obviously great job. Wild, I mean, the Cowboys here for Willcox. Uh, well, what else can we really say on it? No stats. What do you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. If you take a look at Morency, fall to 1-2 now. Julian Aragon had 19 carries for 98 yards and one touchdown, so had a great night on the ground. Isaiah Cook, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. And Deegan Miller, 1 reception for 53 yards, but definitely a big surprise for us there as far as Morency losing another one. I thought, this game would definitely hold up to being a close one. But yeah, I think Wilcox um, can't really say too much on how they did. So just still picked up the victory, which is huge for that 2A two South two region as a little tongue twister there. But
There's too
yeah,
many twos.
big win for that region there.
Yeah, and let's jump into the next one here. Santa Cruz Valley takes a big L from St. John's, and no stats once again here for Santa Cruz Valley, but St. John's goes over dominantly and goes 3-0. They got a 49-0 win on this one here. Anything you wanted to touch base on this game?
Oh, you know what? It was probably one of the biggest shockers of the week for me. At first, I thought Max Preps was playing with me. We talked about how, teams can or play anybody can enter scores and stuff
Right.
on Max Preps, so you see some outrageous scores. And when I was seeing this one, I was just like, "Th- maybe somebody's messing with us," but it turned out to be exactly what it was. And I mean, for Santa Cruz Valley, that was a big show of where they probably currently are. Played an undefeated St. John's team. I think if they played against each other last year, it might be a different story. But we're talking about a whole new offense and defense on both sides of the ball, and it seems like they didn't come to play. St. John's had their number, but I'm hoping it's just kind of a hiccup because if not, I won't push the panic button on it yet. I think one game, okay, we all have bad games, but definitely need to see something different going into this Friday.
Well, they at least have Tombstone on their schedule. Thank God that like Tombstone's still playing, so they might get a W there. But then they have Phoenix Christian, AZ Lutheran. I mean, and then Benson's been striking pretty good. Willcox just did well, and even Desert. Like, so this could be really interesting, like an interesting turn for Santa Cruz Valley for the rest of their season. So, for Max Prep having them originally going 7-1-1, not knowing obviously who Desert Christian was, um, it's going to be interesting to see where everything lies at this point in time. The next game that we have coming up here as well, though, is going to be, a game that we didn't even know was happening. It was
Mm-mm.
Tombstone versus Benson. We're glad to see the game actually happen here. Tombstone loses. They go 0-2. They lost 14-61. The Bobcats are striking there at 2-1 for the season. Um, and hey, let's talk about that Dawson Judge and giving some of the stats here as well.
Ooh, Dawson Judd. I mean, you're talking about the number one passer in the state of Arizona right now. It went 24 for 28, 368 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Renee Lorda, 15 carries, 179 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Wayne Stark, 6 receptions, 112 yards, and 1 touchdown. Big game for that Benson offense, and to put up 61 points. I mean, everything was kind of clicking for that program on Friday. Wish we would have known that this game was going to be going on. We could have made a prediction, talked about it a little bit more. But hey, you know what? Kudos to Tombstone for whatever the reason was to stick out this season, come into play. This week, even though I think the last time we heard they only had 16 kids around there to field the team. So I don't know what changed from 1 week where we thought the season was going to be canceled for them, but hey, to put up some points, put up a little bit of fight, that doesn't go unnoticed. and I think going forward, I'm just hoping that they can ride it out as well.
Yeah, me too. I think it's great that they're able to duke it out, like you mentioned. Good stuff. I mean, congratulations, Tombstone, for getting it, and still grinding. It takes a lot for those kids. I think more so than people understand. Yeah, it's great to have a program that's solid and winning and everything like that. But when you have limited numbers and those kids keep coming out, those are true diehard athletes, and big kudos for that program for fighting it through. Next game here, Desert Christian versus Santa Rita. Santa Rita goes 0-3. No light at the end of the tunnel of this one here. Desert Christian just dominated them 64-0. Um, I mean, what do you do with this situation? Desert Christian's 2-1. Um, you know, yeah, but Brock Bain killed it. I mean, he did really well. Go ahead and drop some knowledge on this game.
Yeah, Brock Payne went 13 for 17, 203 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Then you had Luke Gorman doing it on the offense and defensive side. He had 5 carries for 63 yards and 1 touchdown, and 9 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks on the night. But as you see, New School and Desert Christian, I think they've had some games that they've come to show. Okay, you know what? We're trying to make some noise here in this 2A South Two. Finally got it right the first time, but I think when it comes to their matchups, it's just games that you have to go out and be able to pick up wins on. I think Santa Rita would have been one of those. And but you know what? Santa Rita's still riding strong. Even though they didn't pick up no points, still more opportunities down the road to kind of change that narrative. And they're still riding out the season as well. So that's always a good one. Just hopefully they'll be able to find at least one, if not hopefully a few more touchdowns, just to
Mm,
try to keep things within reach. I mean, if you kind of look at their schedule kind of coming up, they got a Thursday matchup against San Pasqual. So
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what both teams come to bring, but it just seems like a team like Santa Rita, it's always a tough one, especially playing some of these teams here in the 2A South One and South Two.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think same thing as we had mentioned with Tombstone. I mean, you kind of have to look at the victories in the weekly thing rather than wins in the bracket. It's always great to see them like duking it out for the season. As for Desert Christian, I mean, I've looked at their schedule. The schedule's kind of one of the weaker ones in Southern Arizona when it comes to 2A football. So I'm really waiting until they have to battle up here against Willcox, maybe Benson and Santa Cruz toward the last 3 games of their season to kind of really find out who they are, because the next a handful of teams, they got 4 games coming up here that they should have, or actually 3 more that they should have pretty confidently. So
Mhm.
I'm really waiting to see how Desert Christian does against that upper tier of programs rather than the bottom tier that they've been playing right now. So looking
Now,
forward to that.
now,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, yeah, if they were to pick up those victories against, the teams that are a little bit easier than their region matchups, the playoffs is now 24 teams, right?
Right.
It's a 24-man playoff. So would they even be close to possibly making the playoffs if they win those games, but not be able to pick up victories the last three?
Let me kind of see where they might be here. Hold on. I mean, right now, because I think what's really going to help them is the back end of their region. I really don't think, obviously, if we look at it right now, they're currently ranked. I think they're ranked 13th in their in 2A. That's where they're currently ranked
Okay.
via by Max Preps. So it's interesting to see. I think what's really going to kind of hurt them, like the next like match of teams that they have to win those games. Those should be the gimme ones. The Catalinas, the San Carlos, and also Madison Highland. You need to win those games, and you still will probably fall backwards. If you think about it,
Mhm.
because as they're actually playing these teams, they're going to fall back because of the strength of schedule that they have in real time. I'm looking a little ahead because I'm doing my own kind of like strength of schedule. It would be huge for them to walk away with a W against Willcox, Benson, or Santa Cruz Valley. Right now, Santa Cruz Valley is ranked slightly behind them. Actually, I think they might be the team right behind them. Actually, that's
Mhm.
who they are. So Santa Cruz is actually ranked. What did I say? That Desert was the 13th. So Santa Cruz is ranked 14th in 2A right now, according to Max Preps. So that's going to be a huge game for them. I don't know as if they get well. Benson's ranked behind them too, so they got to win. All the way out, except for maybe Willcox at this point in time to not slide. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So really,
Yeah.
really interesting games coming up. But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just kind of taking a look at it and seeing the next three matchups. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, well, where will they be sitting at come those three games, region games? So
I think they slide back in ranking regardless right now. I think they're going to
yeah,
have to reclaim and move forward playing the programs like I'd mentioned, Willcox, Benson, and Santa Cruz Valley at the back end of this. But other than that, like let's
okay.
jump into the Palo Verde game, Palo Verde versus Tanque Verde. This was a lopsided game. Tanque Verde goes in, slaughters them 69 to 0. Tanque Verde goes 2-1, while Palo Verde falls to a 1-2. Definitely not one of the better shows for Palo Verde this season. Um, yeah, I mean, I'll let you go ahead and talk on this one.
We'll start off with Tankerverde. Rocco Haggard went 7 for 8, 139 yards and two touchdowns. Schmucker Colt, 5 carries for 82 yards and two touchdowns. And Aiden Cooper had two receptions for 76 yards and one touchdown. So as you can see, even though wasn't the most yards for Tinkerverde, they didn't really need a lot of yards to find the end zone. As you can see, those guys combined for about four touchdowns just themselves. I'm sure that they were able to get a lot of players in to get some reps in from second and third string, but you jump over to Palo Verde. I mean, Jackson Tyson, 7 carries for 38 yards and went 2 for 11 for 9 yards. Um, and then you have Kamai Ortiz. Hope I'm saying that one correctly. 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks, and one forced fumble. So probably the lone bright spot for Palo Verde, but it just seemed like that offense could not get anything going against Tanque Verde.
Yeah, it looks like also if you look at that, the 2A Southern one, which is the region that we're talking for both of these programs, uh, only one team won this week, and that's because they had to play another team. So Tanque Verde is the only team in the region that actually took a W. So that's kind of interesting. And then obviously on the other side, the only team that took a loss in that 2A Southern 2 was Santa Cruz. So wins on one side, losses on others. There is one more game that wasn't on here. I know you might not have been aware of it, obviously, because we covered our region or whatnot. One team that I wanted to throw in here that's actually currently undefeated is Catalina. Catalina takes a win over
Yeah.
NFL yet. So great job, Catalina. I know we didn't have our images up there for you. We apologize on that. But uh, that I mean, it's I can understand where we were getting at because you guys are in that independent version of it. But 2-0 for Catalina. So
2-0. Yep.
kudos for that. When was the last time that happened? That might be something that you got. Can you check?
You want me to check real quick? Yeah, I
Yeah,
can check for
go
you.
ahead, man. Then we'll
Let's
jump into
see.
this. They got Desert Christian coming up next, so it might come to an end. But
You know what?
kudos, I mean,
You
definitely
never
kudos.
know.
Yeah, well, you're true. You never do know. Um, Catalina Foothills is, they got their W's going right now. So
All right, give
kudos to
me
that
one
program.
second just to kind of pull the previous years up. Let's see.
So some tough games coming up here. While he's looking that up, I wanted to drop this. Benson's got Morenci, Palo Verde. That's going to be an interesting one. Palo Verde versus Rincon. That's always a nice little knuckle up. Like you had mentioned earlier, Santa Rita versus San Pascal. That'll be a tough one. Uh, Tanque
Mhm.
Verde and Benson go head to head, so that could be a good game there. Tombstone, Santa
Right.
Cruz Valley. I'd probably go with Santa Cruz Valley on that one right off the top. Willcox is playing Pima.
Uh,
If Pima can bring it like they normally do, that might be a tough game for Willcox.
and
Santa
and who was playing them?
for Willcox is Pima. Pima and
Pima.
Willcox.
Okay.
Yeah, so that could be a good
All
game.
right.
We mentioned the other ones here, so hey, you never know. Watch our show. Which
So
way will we pick? Especially since
yeah.
there's a lot of interesting games in there. Like I love that little like, yo man, uh,
Yeah, give them the little teasers on
yeah,
that one for
San
sure.
Pascal, Santa
Um,
Rita. I mean,
that's
that could be a good one.
so
My man Miguel coming into town on tomorrow night, so or Tuesday night
and
or
so
Thursday
it's
night. What?
actually no for Catalina. It was actually a lot more recent than you would think.
Oh wow!
2023,
Oh
they
really?
started the season off 3-0, winning
Ooh,
against NFL Yet, San Pasqual Valley, and ALA Anthem South. So
ooh.
yeah,
So
that
you'd
was a
have to.
year we were like
If,
really
so
surprised.
if you're gonna break that record, guys, you're gonna have to do not just one, but you'll have to beat 2 games in a row. Who knows? Who knows? We'll just say that over and
Hmm.
over again. I do know that you like, and you always do, you pick your players of the week. This player of the week, right? Drum roll. Maybe we need to get one of those effects in here. The 3A player of the week is actually going out to Florence. Go ahead and tell us who you pick.
I mean, I spoke about him earlier in the show. You got Zayden Cundiff, senior linebacker out of Florence, 20 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions to go on a great night. He is currently ranked first in Arizona in tackles and ranks 10th in 3A in sacks, along with ranking 11th in 3A in interception. This young man averages 16 tackles and 10 tackles for loss per game. I couldn't think of a better player to than Zayden to be able to be my player of the week this week, because you know what, we talked about how dominant Florence's defense was against ALA Ironwood, only holding them to 3 points, and it all starts with the man in the middle, Zayden Cundiff. What a performance this week. I mean, I think he had a stat in almost in every possible position there for Florence. So, but that goes along with the big win for Florence. So keep it up, Zayden. I know he's in a push for over 100 tackles this year. I will have to check what his um, total tackles were last season, because I know they were in a pretty impressive spot come the end of the season.
Way to be, Zayden. You're our 3A player of the week. Talk about the 2A player. Here is uh, I'll let you say that one. Loretta?
Oh,
Loretta?
Renee Lorda.
Yeah, I totally messed up.
Lorda, yeah, 15 carries, 100. Yeah, no, you know what? As you can see, Benson had a great day on the offensive side of the ball, and so I could have went one way, could have went QB. I was like, but you know what? His counterpart at the running back, was very impressive himself. So why not bring him a little bit of shine? So Renee Lorda, 15 carries, 179 yards, and 3 touchdowns, averaging 11.9 yards per carry. Currently ranks second in the 2A South 2 in rushing yards with 218, and ranks first in that region in total touchdowns with 5. So uh, I think he had a great night to contribute for an overall big win for Benson, and hopefully he'll be still climbing the ladder and bringing some more wins down to Benson. So I think that kind of wrap up our whole week from 6A to 2A for our players of the weeks, and the only way you can kind of be considered is get those stats in so I can review them and bring some shine to these players.
And talk about a wonderful segue. This is actually going to talk about our 3A-2A South Arizona or Southern Arizona pass, or actually our stat leaders. We're going to start off with passing. Our top three, as we talked about, Dawson Judd killing it right now. Uh, Bodie Safford over there at Sabino coming in second with 636. And then Brock Payne over at Desert Christian bringing in that three spot at 565 yards. Um, and obviously you've covered some of those guys. Our guy Dominic Painters is still standing up there in the lead when it comes to receiving yards. He's our number one guy at 314. Um, then we have Jason Santo coming in with 258. He's out of Benson, especially with Dawson throwing the ball like he is right now. Daniel Contreras is coming in from Santa Cruz Valley, even though they had a tough match this week. He's still holding into the spot at 241 yards. So that's your receivers. Let's go over to the rushing top three. We have Zachary Haley over there at Sabino. He's doing his thing. But then, I mean, when you got somebody behind the ball like you do over there, their quarterback, it kind of opens up that run game as well, as we know. Santa Cruz, once again, bad game, good week. He's still sitting there at 254 with Diego Ibarra. And the one that you just put as your player of the week, Rene Lorda, 218 yards over at Benson. He's the those are the top three rushing leaders. And then for our tackle, the other one that you picked here, like I mean, it's funny how you align these up pretty well with our leaders on the board here. Zayden Kunda over there at Florence with 48. Like, I mean, he's like there's shadows from everybody behind him. Brock Payne coming in from Desert Christian at 32, and Isaac Didamana over there at Palo Verde is hanging out at 31. So it's important that you guys drop those stats, put them up there for us so we can shine our spotlight on your spotlight kids. So we appreciate it. I have been kind of looking for Twitter accounts from these stat leaders. I'm posting it up. Actually, I've done the 654. Posted those stat leaders up currently on Twitter. See if that's gotten some traction or whatnot. But I'm telling you guys, hey, it really helps us out if you guys are posting up your stats. We really hate sitting there looking at a scoreboard and not being able to shine some light on some of our athletes in our Southern Arizona area. I know my man Daniel definitely wants to like speak on that a little bit because he's always looking for that information. So
Yeah.
so go ahead and shine a light. Like, what can they do? I mean, simple things, right? Get the stats up there.
Get the stats in. I think we start there, and the more we get in, maybe we don't just do one player of the week. Maybe we do an offense or a defensive player of the week. It just kind of all depends on
Mm.
what stats we get in there. I think you give them ample enough time before we do these shows to be able to get those stats. Games are on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. You got a few days to get them in, and you know
Right.
what? You never know when you're going to make the show. It's not about wins and losses. It's not about blowing up the stat charts. It's about how much these players contribute to their teams in each respective week. And so, in order to be able to do that, we got to be able to have those stats in, and yeah, it's just going to help them in the long run. It's going to bring some shine to these players and these programs for what they have in their athletes. So that's all I need is just a little bit of stats, and we can make things grow from there.
I think also, like, just so people know, we kind of close up when we're looking at our stats. Our cutoff is pretty much Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon. That's when, like, I'm like, hey, look, I'm gonna start loading up my stats or start, collecting the information and so on. If the stats come in after, hey, look, I'm sorry. Like, you can bring it to my attention, but it doesn't mean I'm always changing stuff. I mean, get
Mhm.
it in. Like, if you can't get it by Tuesday at 12 o'clock, which is literally halfway before the next game, like if I make a mistake, which I did, and we actually addressed this on the South Point situation with because you actually had him as one of your player, Chris Cheney, and
Yeah.
so there was a couple of South Point players that actually needed to be on. What happened is that when I was looking at either 6A, they might not have been there, or I did realize that they were using their abbreviations. So I kind of may have looked over it. So, but being brought to us, our attention, we fixed it. I went in and went ahead and changed it on the graphics and posted it out and made sure I got that. But if you guys are just like, hey, look, we put up the stats a little bit late or whatever the case is, like, I'm not going in and changing everything. There's so much that we do to put in for our shows with the graphics, with the information, the stats, and everything else, that like we don't want blanks in certain positions, but at the same time, we're not going to constantly play catch up. So like the cutoff for us is typically at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays. If we see the information slightly after that, and it's something that while we were doing it, cool, whatever. But I mean, hey, look, I'm sorry. And then the other thing is, guys, we go off of the max preps and AZ preps stats, what's on there. So sending us your stats or saying like, yeah, this kid had, X amount of yards or whatever the case might be. We're not doing that. Get it on the board. Like there has to be accountability from the coaches and everything else to get their stats in and so on and so on. If not, hey, you're going to have a big fat 0 on here. And I'm sorry. I mean, you can complain to them. That's the way we are. Like, I mean, I hate to be that person, but you got to hold people accountable. They're holding your kids accountable for playing their positions. Hold them accountable for getting the stats out there as well. I mean, it can be done, obviously. We see it every week from other teams. Anything else, man? Like, I know you're still out there hanging out in Missouri, kicking it with Bradshaw and everybody. Jerk.
Oh, they ain't showing up yet. But
those guys that come in
a couple more days.
Yeah.
No. Hey, tune in next couple of days. Got some predictions to make. Got some games on Thursday. If you got any games, send the links out. I'm trying to spend my Friday evening checking out some football once I get off of work. So I definitely have multiple windows open, trying to keep tabs. Because then I think it makes it a lot more funner to be able to break down these teams and, actually give a little bit more point of view other than just what we have on paper. So it allows us to evaluate these teams a little bit more. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm ready to see what this week holds and ready to make my predictions because I know it's going to be some good games.
All right. Send them off, man. It's on you. So
send them off. All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right. We're out.
Meet Sitback's Bleacher Seat, the first comfy stadium seat. I'm a parent with kids in sports. I've lived on the bleachers and tried countless stadium seats. I found light seats, foldable seats, hot seats, this seat. I couldn't find a comfy seat, so I made my own. First, it has a tall back with lower back, middle back, upper back, and neck support. It's lined in thick, full-body contoured padding, complete with a head pillow and optimal height armrests with cushions. It has a breathable mesh back, L-shaped folding arms, and its angular design frames your body so it won't block anyone's view. Compact, lightweight, and portable is a must, so we made it fully collapsible with padded adjustable backpack straps. While most seats are fixed, the Sitback's Bleacher Seat reclines into a relaxed position. It was almost complete when I thought, what if I could also rotate the seat? So we added a rare swivel feature so you can fully rotate the seat in any direction and view from the best angle. And there we have it, the Sitback's Bleacher Seat. When I received the first model, I was so excited. There was no pressure on my neck, no pressure on my back. I was floating. Finally, a comfy seat. Now we're ready to share it with the world. Whether you're dedicated parents, sports fans, or event goers, you've invested significant time and money into these experiences. Now get ready to sit back and relax.